What's up, guys? This is RBT coming at you with my Friday's questions and answers video, episode 10, I believe. First of all, I'd like to apologize because I didn't get to do this last Friday because it was something like I recorded it and it was really long. It was like 18 minutes maybe. And I went to go upload the video and apparently my laptop had deleted that video, so I recorded all that for nothing. And I had a lot of stuff to do that day, or I can't remember if I just didn't feel like doing it or something, but all I know is I didn't feel like record another 18-minute video, so I decided just to wait till this Friday to do it. And it might be kind of hard answering questions from 2 Fridays ago because some of the questions might have been about the game last Saturday, but I apologize for that. I'll try my best to answer all your questions. And as always, leave a comment below, ask a question so it will be featured in next week's episode. And it can be about anything, sports, personal questions, absolutely anything, and it'll be answered next Friday as always. And once again, I apologize for not having it up last Friday. But I'll go ahead and answer these questions. SEC Guy 06 asked, what I was asking is if you have ever noticed Mississippi State's player as being thugs. I sat behind their bench before our games and they seem like thugs. No, not specifically Mississippi State's, but I mean, it wouldn't doubt me if some of their players are thugs. I mean, every college program has their fair share of thugs, so I'm sure they have a few. So, I mean, every team has their fair share. Like LSU has Honey Badger, and I'm sure Alabama has some that we don't really know of because they don't publicly show that they're thugs, but I'm sure they have a few that are thugs. Every program does. Here on Fan 12 asked, do you think Oregon can make a run at the championship? I definitely see Oregon making a run at the championship. I think they're the number 2 team in the country, but according to the polls, they dropped to 4. And I don't understand. I mean, this would be a good year to have the playoff because there's 4 teams that can, or 5 that can potentially make a run at the championship. You got Alabama, Florida, Kansas State, who's still undefeated, Oregon, and or a team like Oregon State too, Notre Dame. They all possibly are undefeated and could end the season undefeated. Even though Alabama, Florida will cross themselves out, and Oregon and Oregon State will cross themselves out. But I mean, I think Oregon's the number 2 team in the country just by the way they played. They have an absolutely amazing offense. Their defense is vastly improved. They could score 100 on anybody that they played so far, but they always let up in the second half. It's just to this point that Kansas State's resume is better than Oregon's, and that's rightfully so. It's the truth, but I mean, I think that'll eventually even themselves out. Esco336 asked, Jake Locker is a Mike Munchak guy, but I think if Bud Adams has something to do with it, we get Geno Smith. I don't think we get Geno Smith. I mean, we've been through this kind of stuff before when we got Vince Young, when Jeff Fisher really didn't want him. But I think Jake Locker is going to develop into a really good quarterback, and he has a great mentor in Matt Hasselbeck. And I mean, we're already 2 years through the process, and I don't think why we would start that process over again when I think next year Jake Locker will definitely be ready. I'm not sure if he's as ready as people believe he is right now, but I think with another year, with this year's experience and another offseason, he'll be ready next year. And I just don't think there'd be any reason for us to restart the process with Geno Smith. And Geno Smith, when he's played against tough defenses, hasn't really looked as impressive as he has before early on in the season. Esco336, ask another question. After CJ's game yesterday, which was 2 weeks ago against the Bills, do you still hold firm on that prediction of 950 yards for a season, knowing that we have Buffalo next week? Oh, sorry. Buffalo was last week. The week before that was, I can't remember off the top of my head, the Steelers, I think. Might be wrong. But do I still predict him to get only 950 yards? No, I really don't. I think he's taken advantage of playing against beat up defenses. The Bills have the worst defense, the worst rush defense in the NFL. I think, what did he put up, 170 yards? I can't remember. But I do think he breaks 1,000 yards, but I would say probably somewhere not too much over 1,000. I'd say like maybe 1,100, 1,200, somewhere in that range. Esco336 asked another question. I think this is his last question. Who would you start this week for us for the Titans next week after Thursday victory? And what is your thought of Kenny Britt being rusty versus the Steelers? We all know that Jake Locker didn't start. He's still injured. Matt Hasselbeck started and got the close victory against the Bills like I predicted. But I think they're said that Jake Locker still remains the starter, but he's not playing because he's still not fully healed from his shoulder injury. And I mean, there's no point to rush him right now when Matt Hasselbeck's getting victories. I mean, I understand them saying he's still the starter, and I do believe when he's fully healthy, he'll be the starter. But I don't think there's any reason to rush it when we're not. I mean, if we were struggling really, really bad and not had a win or only had one win or something, I think they'd be more likely to rush Jake Locker if Matt Hasselbeck was struggling. But that's not the case. I mean, we've won 2 in a row. First time we've won 2 in a row all year, so no reason to change right now until Jake Locker is fully healthy and he proves to the staff that he's ready to go back in. AU, it's Tanya asked, what is the scariest movie you've ever seen? Maybe The Grudge. The Ring was kind of scary. Insidious, oh my god, Insidious is probably the scariest movie I've seen in theaters. Because, I mean, there's so many moments where it just shocks you out of nowhere something happens. But, like I said, I was extremely scared watching it. But then, like, once you know what happens and you watch it the second time, it seems really stupid to you. And I mean, not really stupid, but it's not near as scary as it was the first time. But if I'm going on a first-time basis, I would say Insidious. But if I had to watch it right now, I would not be scared at all. Like, yeah. Alan Clanton 20 asked, who are your favorite sports? I think he says, what are your favorite sports? I'm not sure. I'm gonna go ahead and answer this as, what are your favorite sports? I would baseball, college football, NFL football. Don't really like basketball. Don't like soccer. Don't like hockey. So mainly just I like watching a little bit of college basketball. So I guess you could say football, baseball, and a little bit of college basketball are my favorite sports. Razorback fan 1995 asked, who do you think wins the World Series? I think when I originally made the video, I think I said the Tigers. But, I mean, I got a little bit of a break on this question because it's right now 0-2, or it's 2-0 for the Giants. They're leading the Tigers. So, definitely, I mean, there's no reason I wouldn't go against the Giants right now. I mean, they're 1-2-0. They won 4 straight games in the playoffs. They have all the momentum. And unless the Tigers prove me wrong in the next game, I think the Giants have this on lockdown as of right now. So I'm going with the Giants. Matt Fritz asked, who's the best receiver in college football right now? Tavon Austin, Stedman Bailey. I'm definitely going mind blank. The receiver. Dang, who's that receiver for Washington State? I'm completely lost my mind. He's really good. Marquise Lee is his name. Marquise Wilson, that's it. He's a great receiver. Marquise Lee too. He's a receiver for USC. He's a good receiver. Robert Woods, Amari Cooper, Sammy Watkins had a big game last night against Wake Forest. Any more I can think of? Can't think of any more off the top of my head, but those are all really good receivers. I don't think I really can pick just one. I don't think there's one receiver that solidified himself as a #1 receiver right now. Last year you had Justin Blackman. Years before that I had a guy like Michael Crabtree. You don't have that right now in college football. Nick Gumbel asked, how do you think Bama will do in basketball this year? Record, and do you think you make the NCAA tournament or NIT? I'm not really going to say a record because that's kind of hard for me to do. But I do think we make the NCAA tournament. I think we will be improved from last year. I do think we go farther in the NCAA tournament. Don't know how far we go, but I think we get past the first round this year. I think we will be better. I just think steadily Anthony Grant will build this program maybe to a top 10 caliber team, hopefully in the next few years. SEC Guy 06 asked, what is the deal with your hair? Haha, not hating on it or anything, but I've noticed a ton of guys that live in Alabama that have that haircut. Just want your thoughts on it. I've had this same haircut since I've been a little kid, so I don't know. I guess I'm just more afraid that I look retarded or stupid without the haircut or the hair that I have now. I'm just used to it, and I'd feel really awkward without the hair like I have now. I'd feel really self-conscious about myself, but I don't know why people in Alabama have the haircut. I definitely notice what you're talking about. But the one thing I cannot stand is when people like say I have Justin Bieber hair. I mean, I've had this haircut since I was like 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. I mean, I I had this haircut before Justin Bieber even picked up a microphone. I mean, that's so annoying when people say that for real. But I don't know. It'll probably take me a few more years to get rid of it. But I mean, eventually I'll have to. I'm not gonna be 25 years old with the same haircut. Maybe maybe even this summer once I get out of high school. But we'll see. Fat Libertarian in OKC asks, Swiss cheese is my new favorite. I use it on sandwiches all the time now. I don't know if he's asking what my favorite cheese is, but if I had to pick a favorite cheese, I would say American Pepper Jack, two really good cheeses. Matt Fritz asked, how did you become a Titans fan? I think I've said this before, but I mean, I wasn't really that big in the NFL for a long time, and I mean, I didn't really have a favorite team as I was probably till I was about, how old was I? About 5, 6 years ago. I've been like 10 years old. I mean, I don't watch NFL, but I didn't really have a favorite team. But because I hate the Saints. Didn't really like the Falcons, and there's nobody else really near me from there. But I mean, Tennessee is the next closest, so that's the reason I always pulled for them. And then my favorite player coming out of the draft, and was it '06 or '07, something like that, was Vince Young. And the Titans drafted Vince Young, so that just got me really interested in the Titans. And ever since, I've been a Titans fan. So it's got deeper and deeper of a relationship with me and the Tennessee Titans ever since Vince Young was drafted. And I was really mad when they released Vince Young and decided to go separate ways with him. But I mean, it was for the best, so I understand. I try not to get too attached to a player because when I was a little kid, when I first started to get addicted to baseball, my favorite player was Sammy Sosa, and for years, my favorite baseball team was whatever team Sammy Sosa was on until he, I don't remember what it was. It just set me off, and I think it was, I don't remember what year it was, but I told myself I'd never do that again. So yeah, I guess that's been the episode. Please leave a comment below and ask a question to be featured in next week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss one of my uploads. So I'll see you guys later. And as always, roll Tide and go Sox and go Titans to you. I'll see you guys.